Hi, class. This is Mrs. Bissell here, and I'm going to read you our Wonders Unit 1, Week 2 Interactive Read Aloud. So I have these cards here, and I'm going to be reading you this story. And after each card, I'm going to stop and ask you some questions. So I want to see if you're paying attention, if you're listening to the teacher. So I want you to listen very closely to all the information I give you and the story for when I stop and ask you questions. Okay, so friends, this story is called The Tortoise and the Hare. And those are the two main characters of our story, what our story will be about. And they are right here. So the tortoise is like a type of turtle. Okay. And a hare is like a rabbit. Okay. So that's why I want you to know, so that when I'm talking about a tortoise and a hare, I'm talking about this is the tortoise and this is the hare. Now, friends, the story called The Tortoise and the Hare, it is a fable. And a fable, I've read you a fable before. A fable is a fiction story. That means a pretend story, a make-believe story. And it teaches us a lesson. So something's going to happen in the story, and it's going to teach you a lesson at the end. You're going to learn something from this. And a fable usually has animals. So not always, but usually. So now I'm going to read you the story, The Tortoise and the Hare. And remember, after each card, I'm going to ask you some questions, so be paying close attention. Tomorrow will be the first day of school for the forest animals. Henry Hare, right here, was eager to start. He told his friend Tommy Tortoise that he would be the fastest one at school. "Look at me go," he bragged, doing high hops from tree to tree. And you see him right here, hopping, hopping, hopping. "No one could catch me. I'll be the first one at school." He has a lot of energy. Now, Tommy Tortoise sighed. That means it was true. Henry's movement was fast, while Tommy crawled very, very slowly. You've seen a turtle, they crawl slowly. So the tortoise crawled slowly. Tommy inched towards the tree while Henry hopped around in circles around him. So see, Henry's going, right here, he's going right here. He's going, the tortoise is just kind of walking, crawling, and the hare is just like bouncing all around him. Oh my. "I know," said Tommy. "Let's have a race, and we'll see who gets to school first. Then we will know who is the fastest animal." Henry laughed. The hare, remember the one with all the energy? He laughed like, "Okay, Tommy, I will race you. It will be easy to win because I hop quickly and you crawl slowly." Friends, is that very nice that he's bragging like that? Remember, the tortoise has this big shell that's heavy too, and the hare is just like bouncing around super quickly. Is that very nice that he's saying, "Oh, you're slow"? No, that's not nice at all. So we'll see what happens. So here's my first question, friends. What do Tommy and Henry decide to do? What did they decide to do here on their first day of school? What are they going to do? Can you remember? You got it. They're going to race. They're going to race to find out who the fastest animal is. Here's your next question. How does Tommy feel? Tommy the tortoise. How does he feel? How do you think he feels? I mean, he didn't seem like he felt sad, but he just felt like, okay, fine. You think you're so fast? Let's have a race. So Tommy Tortoise, he seems to be okay with it. He's like, okay, well, all right. If you think you're fast, we'll see who wins the race. All right, let's see what happens next. The next morning, Tommy and Henry met at the starting line of their race. So right here is where they're going to start. Henry could not wait to begin. He hopped quickly from one side of the road to the other side, while Tommy crawled very slowly to the starting line. I wonder who's going to win. Henry laughed. "Are you sure you want to race me?" "Are you sure, Tommy?" "You know I will win. You crawl so slowly, and it's a long way to school. You'll be exhausted after just a few minutes." And then Tommy Tortoise says, "I don't know about that," said Tommy. "I may surprise you." Everyone came to watch the race and cheer for Henry and Tommy. So see, like all the people that came to watch them. Oopsie. Their parents stood by the starting line and helped them get ready. Freddie Fox agreed to start the race. So see, there's Freddie Fox, and he has a timer set, and he's like, "All right, ready, set, go." He looked down at his watch, and he shouted, "Ready, set, go!" Henry quickly hopped across the starting line, racing past his friend. Friends, now it's time to think. Were you paying attention? All right, here's our question for this card. Who helps to start the race? Look at the picture. Who's starting? The fox came to help. Remember, he came to time it and tell them when to start. Who else came to help? Their parents. Look, the hare's parents and the tortoise's parents, they came to help get them ready too. Good job. You were paying attention. And who cheers for Tommy and Henry? Who's there cheering them on? Look at the picture for clues. Look, their parents are cheering them on. I think probably the fox is cheering them on. And it also said, yep, I think that's about it. Look, there's some other animals here, some other forest animals. Yeah, so their friends came to come help in their family. All right, let's see what happens next, friends. Who do you think is going to win? The hare is going pretty fast and the turtle's going pretty slow. I wonder what's going to happen. Soon, Henry was far ahead of Tommy, because remember, he hops really fast. He hopped faster and faster until he reached the halfway mark. So he wasn't there yet. He was only halfway. And he became too tired to go on. Friends, he ran so fast, hopped so much, that he got really tired very quickly. He looked around and noticed his favorite flowers growing near the side of the road. Then he saw his friend Sam standing nearby watching the race. Henry looked behind him, and he couldn't even see Tommy. Tommy was so far behind. He was beating him so much. He's like, "He'll never catch up to me anyway," he thought. "I can rest here a while and I'll still win." So Henry decided to rest his legs and talk to Sam before finishing the race. Meanwhile, Tommy crawled at his slow but steady race. So Tommy the tortoise never stopped. He went slowly, but he never stopped. And the hare stopped. Uh-oh, what do you think might happen? The race was so excited that he wasn't even exhausted at all. The Tommy Tortoise wasn't even tired. When he arrived at the halfway mark, he didn't even notice that Henry was still talking to Sam. So look, Tortoise is passing him by. He's walking slowly, but he's walking, and the hare didn't even notice that the tortoise is passing him. Tommy didn't notice either. Tommy and Henry didn't even notice that the tortoise was passing. Tommy kept crawling towards the finish line while Henry stayed behind talking. Uh-oh. All right, time for me to ask you some questions. What is Henry doing? What was Henry doing? Henry stopped because he was so tired and started relaxing and started talking to his friend. All right. What happens to Tommy? What happens to Tommy in this picture? What does Tommy do? Tommy starts passing Henry. Ooh, do you think Tommy the tortoise might beat Henry? We'll see. Suddenly, Henry remembered the race. He looked around, but he didn't see Tommy anywhere. He must still be far behind. Friends, is the tortoise far behind? No, remember, he passed him and he didn't notice it, so he thinks, the tortoise is way behind. It's fine. He must still be back there. I'm going to hop to school and win. La, 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 la. Friends, is he going to win? He said goodbye to Sam and zoomed off down the road. As Henry hopped ahead, he saw his parents and friends standing there cheering in front of the school. But they weren't cheering for him. They were cheering for Tommy Tortoise. He was already across the finish line. Tortoise already beat him while the Hare was out there chit-chatting, talking, getting distracted. The Tortoise crawled slowly and beat him. Tommy waited for Henry to finish the race. Then Henry sadly hopped over his friend. You were right, Tommy, he said. I moved faster, but you still won. You kept going while I stopped to look at flowers and to talk to Sam. Tommy smiled at his friend, and they walked into school together. What a fun adventure, said Tommy. It's good to be fast, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. So friends, sometimes we don't have to race to do everything. Sometimes it's okay if we take our time. Friends, I think that was a lesson we were supposed to learn. So friends, sometimes I want you to think about that when you're doing your work. Sometimes maybe you feel frustrated that you go a little bit slower. Sometimes things are a little bit slower for you, a little bit harder. But it's okay as long as you don't give up. Just like the tortoise did not give up. He kept going even though it was took a little bit longer for him. He never gave up. And he ended up winning. He won. And the one that was going super, super fast ended up getting distracted and didn't even finish on time. So friends, that's a very good lesson to know, especially when you're doing some new work and you're learning stuff, new things. Just know it's okay. Slow and steady wins the race. So friends, how do you think Henry feels at the end of the story? Henry, the Hare, how does he feel at the end? Do you think he feels disappointed? I think he feels a little bit disappointed, but do you think they're still going to be friends? I think so. Look, the tortoise even waited for him and they walked together. That was very nice of him. And last question. So now I kind of told you the answer, but I want to see if you remember. What is the lesson you learned from this fable, from this story, The Tortoise and the Hare? What did you learn? Did you learn that it's okay to not always go super fast? It's okay if you go a little bit slower sometimes as long as you finish? Yeah, that was a lesson we really wanted you to learn. Well, friends, you did an amazing job listening. You did wonderful. I will see you again next time for our next story. Okay, friends. Bye-bye.